Hey, everybody, welcome to another edition of Inside Lion Athletics, when we get a chance to just see what's going on behind the doors in East Texas A&M. See, we're still getting used to it. Got
Almost.
Jim Curry here to start us all off. Let's just do it. This will be a trickle-down effect, Jim. We'll start at the top with you. How you doing?
Okay. Doing great. Doing great. We just wrapped up the Luckies last night, our annual student athlete awards banquet, and credit to our student athlete advisory group and the staff that facilitated that initiative. It was the third one I've been a part of since I've been here, and it
Mhm.
was certainly the best one yet. And
Outstanding.
I told the group, I said, I think that is just on theme with what we're doing right now. Is we're just getting better, and we got work to do, but we're getting better. And the event last night was another example of just getting better, but also celebrating the accomplishments along the way.
Yeah, that's such a key, Jim, to not forget to celebrate the little things along the way, because it takes a whole bunch of those little things to get where we're headed.
No question. And it's a little bit of that flywheel effect. Jim Collins, Good to Great, right? Where you pick up some momentum and you got small wins and you build on those wins to create new wins and serve as the foundation for what's next. And you get to a point where you just create this type of momentum. And I really think that's what's happening at the university as a whole. We saw a really happy group on Saturday qualifying for the conference tournament, and we can pick apart every part of the season along the way, but when backs up against the wall, needed a win after two really hard fought games on Friday that we could have
They
won.
were really well played.
Oh, really well played, and credit to Houston Christian too. They played well too, and but backs up against the wall and just came out and just owned it in dominant fashion, and rightfully so. Those kids celebrating, and it's been a long haul for them to get to that point over the last 3 years, and now you lead the league in home runs, which is certainly an accomplishment in of itself. You got players in the circle that you've developed that probably when they got here didn't think they were going to be, Friday starters in a league that's as deep as ours, playing D1.
Hmm.
So just credit to the work and the development and just the progress that's being made, not just in softball but across the board. And we touched on a little bit last week, but just the improvement in play and performance in the standings across the board and what that's doing for the overall trajectory of the department.
Wow. All I can think of is that home run on Saturday that Tatum Wright hit. I don't think that's landed yet,
Oh,
and if it did,
good
it
player.
did. I don't think it landed in Harris County. Even it was hit a long way.
Yeah. Well, no
But
doubt. I mean, you talk about player development, right? And that's an
yeah,
important part of coaching. And there are a number of players on that squad right now who are contributing in very meaningful ways, who have been in the program for a little bit, maybe even got here under a different coach, but have continued to develop and really become important parts of what we're doing. So, and contributing in obviously some really meaningful ways, not just individually or as a team, but again, as we kind of stack up against the rest of the Southland Conference.
all right. Well, big sack of taters for those girls for all the work they did to lead the league in home runs. See if we can get the bomb squad out on Thursday and Friday. No, nothing wrong with go ahead. If you want to beat the best, you get them right off the bat,
Right
and
out
then
the
you get
gate,
another
right?
chance if you need it.
That's exactly right. And again, like, it's one that we talked about it as the ADs when we were going through and looking at postseason qualification. And we really did feel like, it wasn't appropriate to take every team, that should be an earned opportunity for
Mhm.
teams. And so you see across the league, like it's, basketball and soccer and volleyball and softball, baseball, like and not everybody gets in and you got to earn it. And so, I like that. I think it's a good thing. And again, it makes it a little bit more special when you get that opportunity, particularly when you do it for the first time.
I know it. And then if you get transitioned all the way, and then you're able to play for something beyond just one of those impressive Southland Conference championship trophies.
Yeah,
We
no
got
doubt.
lots of room in the cases. We keep adding to them, and we got more room. So
That's right. We got room now. They're pretty full. I mean, stack up 6 national championships and 110 plus conference championships. You got some pretty stacked cases around here, but we'll always find more room for trophies.
No doubt about it. Hey, we don't want to spend too much time on this, Jim, but the house developments had a development this week, and it wasn't one that looked like progress.
Yeah. Well, I would say it was progress in the sense that I think we've got some consensus around all the issues, even the one that's still kind of outstanding with the roster limits. I think we've talked a little bit about that maybe in some way previous episodes of this, but how this new settlement's going to put mandatory caps on roster sizes for schools that opt into this new paradigm. And we've honestly been talking about it here for better part of a year. And I think there's been some criticism of that approach, truthfully, in terms of, hey, don't get ahead of your skis, and that's understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But it also too, like, it's appropriate to plan for what's coming, and you can always adjust the other way if you need to. And also just trying to create the best opportunity for student athletes to understand what's coming down the pike and put them in a position where if they want to continue to pursue athletics while they're in college, that they can look for those opportunities and get the best spot for them, whether it's here or somewhere else. And so we're not as impacted by the roster limits as other schools.
Mm-hmm.
We're not using athletics per se as an enrollment driver. I mean, we sponsor the minimum number of sports in Division I, right? So we've got, obviously we contribute immensely to the efforts on enrollment and retention, and we think we're a big part of that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But just in terms of just strict numbers and trying to generate bodies, our impact on the roster cap side maybe about 25 in total. So if there's a scenario where it makes sense for us to phase that, if that's what comes out of this conversation that's ongoing now, then we'll continue to evaluate that. I think it's important to understand that we're also part of a larger university ecosystem. And so retention and degree completion for student athletes, whether or not they, are affected by roster caps or not, or what's changing in the athletics landscape, it's important for us to get students degrees. And so whether that's retaining them, getting them to degree completion, setting up a framework for that to occur, regardless of what's happening in this settlement, like that's
Mm-hmm.
always going to be a focus for ours and a fundamental focus. So, we're kind of waiting like everybody else. I think, we're eager for some, finality to that part of the process. We know there's more to come on the other side, but I think with all the litigation out there in total, whether it's the JUCO rules or the eligibility rules or this, where we can achieve some finality and some closure and get a little bit of certainty in terms of just direction, that's always a good thing for us right now in the athletic space. So we're eager for that to come in for a landing, and I think everybody feels confident we'll get that across the finish line, even though it may have a little bit of a different look than what it may have about a month ago this time.
Looking at the number in Division I, if you take out the FCS FBS fence, you've got what, 370 schools, I think, in total that are Division I.
363. Yep.
Yeah, I'm going off of basketball. Everybody's got a basketball
Yeah.
team. But what percentage of all of those schools are impacted the most by the house? And then the rest of us, we just got to play along because we're all in the same club.
Yeah. So outside of the Power Four, who were like the named defendants in the initial suit,
Mm-hmm.
everybody else really has an option in Division I. You can elect to opt into the new world here, where you can have more flexibility in how you provide benefits to student athletes, or you can choose not to. And I would say that probably the primary driver in decision making right now is the roster caps. There are some institutions that are heavily dependent on athlete numbers for enrollment purposes. I mean, there
Okay.
are schools going through the reclass process right now where, I mean, gosh, it's like 40-50% of their student population is athletes.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, that differs. And that's the thing about Division I is it's it's a pretty diverse makeup of schools. So some are much more conscious, I think, of that roster cap. You know, they, instead of sponsoring 14 sports like we do, they may be sponsoring 27, 28, 29, 30. I mean, we have schools in our league that sponsor 20 in the high 20s for
Mm-hmm.
sports, and they're doing it again to generate and drive enrollment as well. And so um, everybody's got a choice, and I would say that that's probably the primary driver in the decision making. So if you opt in, you do have to impose the roster caps. If you choose not to opt in, and some of the biggest names in the sport are not opting in at this point. Take for example North Dakota State. You know, they're electing not to opt in at this point in time. They're going to take a year. They made this public in an announcement, but they kind of want to see what the landscape looks like. Now, again, they don't have the ability then to participate in rev share
Mm-hmm.
with their student athletes through the institution. If they want to operate that third party, they're certainly welcome to do that, as any school would
Mm-hmm.
be, even if you opt in or opt out. You've got new reporting requirements, whether or not you choose to opt in or opt out. And so again, I do think that it's fair to say that the decision to avail yourself to this new model and,
Mm-hmm.
and opting into it is being predicated primarily on roster caps.
Is North Dakota State, will they have the option to opt in at a later date,
It
or
will.
is this a?
Every school can opt in or opt out. You basically make a decision every year, and so
Oh, okay.
you can opt if you opt in. You know, like we could make a decision to opt out at a later date as well if we wanted to.
All right. Very good. Thanks for that update. Will it
Yeah.
ever end?
No.
Probably not.
That's what we know for certain in college athletics. It just keeps going, but it keeps things interesting for sure.
All right. So the student athletes had their big production and celebration, the Luckies. We've talked about that a little bit. There's another one for a lot of former student athletes and Lion alum and everybody coming up in support of athletics, and that will be the Night of Champions. It's not going to be on campus, is it?
That is correct. It will not be on campus. We hosted the Night of Champions for the first time at the Hilton in Rockwall. It
Hmm.
was a great venue. I think it gave it the feel, just that elevated feel we were looking for in that event. It's kind of one of those dress up events, and kind of a nice kind of fun elevated date night.
Yep.
So that's where we're going back there again. We'll be on Friday night this year instead of Saturday, and so Friday the 16th on in May, and we've had a great response already. We had a great response last year. It's even more so this year. So we're getting ready to make the our silent auction live for people to bid on. If you're not able to make Night of Champions, you can actually
Hmm.
still bid and win in the silent auction. Uh, our partnership with the Rangers, we actually just got our latest item we've got was a 2023 World Series ball with Corey Seager's autograph on it. So those are the type of items that will be in our auction. There is a live auction as well that's taking place at the event with some pretty special items there as well. So all that information will go out. Like I said, anybody that's can't make it for whatever reason will still have the opportunity to participate in the silent auction, and we encourage you to do so. So it's a way to just get involved, help support Lion Athletics, but also have just a fun night to kind of wrap up the year and get ready for summer, and then turn our attention to the fall. But again, just a great venue for it. And again, just a great elevated feel for the night in terms of what we're doing to support Lion Athletics.
So Jim, I'm just gonna make a guess here. You look like a baccarat kind of guy. Are you gonna be running the table, or what's your favorite game?
My favorite game is probably craps, just because it's a little bit of a social experience as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And so a little bit, you kind of stay on the table a little bit longer if depending on how you play. There's just something kind of fun about the social aspect of it. You can get kind of the same thing in roulette if you can stick around long enough. So
Mm-hmm.
it's all in the strategy, but that's probably what I prefer a little bit. Yeah, I don't
All
play
right.
poker. I wish I kind of knew it better. But because again, there's a little bit of a social aspect there to it. So
I
that's what I'm
love
looking for
playing.
more in my table games.
I love poker, but I just get nervous at a public table because they always tell you sit down, look around the table, and if you don't find the sucker, you're in trouble.
Yeah, then
I,
you're the sucker.
I don't want to be that guy. So, I play with my friends here in town. The money, we just go around the table and it's more for yucks than anything else
Exactly.
because
See,
of the
you like the
social
socialize.
nature of it.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right.
Now, while we're there, we'll have some guest dealers while we're there too at some of the tables that include our head coaches. So
Oh,
uh,
good.
some of them are more comfortable in that than others, to be honest with you. But it's fun for sure. So we've got a pretty nice level of engagement from folks across the department, include our head coaches.
Man, that's going to be a blast. And again, that is on Friday, May 16th. And gosh, just go to lionathletics.com. And if you don't find anything there, you're on the wrong website.
You're on the wrong website. You'll find it there right at the top of the page. It'll take you a link right to it. And actually, we've already got more seats held this year than we did last year. So we've got a great turnout already in that regard. I think we're getting close to. We're getting close to 300. I don't think we're all the way there yet, but we're getting close. So it's turning out to be a really good night.
Let's see. What we have left athletics wise, though, is the softball this weekend. And we'll get a lot of time with Brittany Miller here shortly to visit more about it. But they're not the only game in town. Track and field still has a little bit of legs left in their season.
No question. And actually, we're going to get right now. Foose is scheduled to go out and compete at the World Relays as well here before or maybe in the next few weeks actually. So we'll put him on the world stage again. But yeah, again, we probably can't talk enough about what track and field's doing right now across all three. All kind of three elements of it. Cross country had a really good fall. We had our first all conference selection in the D1 era for cross country. And then look fast forward to indoor, obviously had a really good indoor meet, much better outcome than we did last year. So improved performance there. And then you fast forward to the outdoor season and multiple track and field athletes of the week all throughout the spring here. And again, just a credit and a testament to not just the work that George and his group is doing, but our student athletes as well. And, there's something that's just kind of really exciting about, when you take a step back, and we talked about it last night, right? Just this theme of just continuing to get better.
Mm-hmm.
What we can definitively say right now, unequivocally, is we are producing All-Americans. We are producing world-class athletes. We are producing professional athletes. We look at guys that just signed this past weekend with opportunities in the NFL for practice squads and things like that. Not just guys that were here most recently, but some who were here, developed, left, went somewhere else, but still have a tug here at East Texas A&M. And so, and then you look at it, talking to some of our student athletes last night about what their plans are after they graduate, next week. Great jobs they already have lined up, this summer when they get out of here. So again, preparing student athletes with career-ready opportunities in the professional sector in things outside of sport. And so, it's one of those things that in terms of what we're able to do right now and point to, it's a great story to tell right now, not just about Lion Athletics, but East Texas A&M University as a whole.
When you talk about their postgraduate work opportunities, not everybody that was a student athlete goes into sports.
Yeah, that's right. I mean,
what percentage of them stay in? 25? Do you think?
To stay in sports?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I don't even know if it's that high, to be honest with you. I mean, it's anecdotal, but I was talking to Juliana Crow last night, the women's golfer, graduates this week. Obviously, was just part of back-to-back second place finishes in the Southland Conference, and she's a construction engineering major who now has a full-time job with a global firm based out of Dallas. And I mean, that's the type of student athletes we have here, right? And so what we're able to do is really achieve great outcomes on both sides of the equation, both athletically and academically. And she's one of many examples, but she's probably the most, front of mind because we were just talking about it last night at the Luckies. But you could tell she's excited about that opportunity. But, the amount of student athletes here that are majoring in things like construction engineering, right?
Mhm.
Math, sciences, nursing, sport management, business. It's incredible. So again, it's a really not just a testament to what's happening in the athletics department, but really a testament that's everything happening here at the university because it takes everybody under the umbrella. The other thing too is we had some of our, as part of one of our donor benefits for some of our donors that give it some higher levels to the scholarship fund, we invite them to the Luckies, and you get the opportunity to mix and mingle with our student athletes. And we had some of them there last night, and that's always really special because I was talking to some of them after the event, and they were just you could tell they were just having a great time. But what I told them is like, this is the impact of your investment in action, right? You get to
Yeah.
see these student athletes who are performing at a high level on the playing surface, but then you get to learn a little bit more about what they're doing in the classroom as well, and kind of bring it all together in an event like that culminates at the end of the year. And it's pretty special.
If money is fuel, then you got to show off all the energy that fuel produced. Good stuff. Hey,
It is
last
true.
thing, because we got to move on, but you going down to Lake Charles? Gonna
Yes,
go see
sir.
a
I'll be
softball?
down there. I got to meet with a couple recruits here on campus before I head down there, volleyball, basketball. But yeah, so we're hot and heavy still in the recruiting season. Again, great story to tell right now about what's happening here at the university. But I'll be down there. I guess we gotta catch and get to Daryl's. I guess to get one of those po' boys or whatever
That's
they got
right.
on down
Yeah,
there.
just hey, be sure to roll your sleeves up. That's the only
Whatever it
thing you
is,
got to
it's good.
remember.
I got tipped onto that one when I went down to the basketball tournament for the first time last year. So, but no, it's good. Looking forward to it. Again, excited for those young ladies. They've worked hard to get in that position. They were excited, and I think they understand completely. Um, you get in the tournament and you can throw out the records. It's tournament time, so anything's possible.
In is in, and let's go.
Mhm.
All right. Well, folks, we're going to line up. Jim, always a pleasure to visit, and we'll look forward to seeing you down in Lake Chuck in just another day or so.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Folks, stick around. We got a little bit more to go. Brittany Miller and also George Pincock are on with us today. Hang on for more Inside Lion Athletics. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. I'm Charlie Chitwood. What a treat. Had Jim Curry for a whole lot of topics to scatter shoot about, but now we've got track and field. Let's see how the fast lions, the strong lions, and the leaping lions are all fair. You had them spread out in California, George Pincock, last week. How'd all that go?
I from what I've heard, it was good. I was here working the UIL regional meet, but four meets over the course of 3 days, and three school records out of that. So pretty happy with that. School record all in the same event. So it was a hot event in California, I guess.
Wow. Let's see, how many school records have your Lions claimed this year in both the women's and the men's division?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
It's more than
I
it's
would have
more
to
than
defer to
four.
some. Yeah, I mean, I think we're probably somewhere one a week. I don't know. It's not often you get to say that, but I feel pretty confident in the group we have that they're doing well. They're training and preparing themselves to compete at a really high level. So I, I don't know. I don't worry about it along the way too much.
Those aren't the pelts you count.
Yeah, I
You
get
know
it.
what? It's still
I'm happy for the kids. It's more for the kids. Uh, I want them to remember that they're going to remember being the fastest person that came through the school. That's what matters to me on the school records. That's for them.
that's great stuff. And you not only got to say that and how cool it is to do, but you get to say, yeah, we had the fastest relay team in the planet.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're the second fastest relay team in the planet now, but
Oh no.
yeah, it was close.
Tell them it's a heads up. We want a rematch. Come
Yeah,
on,
I
best
would have
of
liked it.
three.
So, but we kind of knew that was coming. Big weekend last weekend with Penn relays and Drake relays happened at the same time. Um, and it felt confident if we came out of that weekend number one, we'd stay number one.
Mm-hmm.
We're number two. Still a pretty good spot to be.
It's not bad.
World
Not
list.
bad. Silver's not quite doing as well as gold on the market, but those are the kind of medals you keep. Um, got meet coming up in Lubbock this weekend. It's been changed a little bit already, and we're like the first ones to know that y'all are leaving tomorrow for a 1-day meet on Thursday out at Texas Tech because they've got some more severe weather moving in at the end of the week.
Yeah, again, I think ideally we're kind of at that point in the season where we want championship style opportunities. Lubbock is typically really good weather, favorable tailwinds, good competition. Walked into the office Monday morning, started preparing for a Friday, Saturday track meet, and by 11 o'clock, I was preparing for a Thursday track meet. So
Wow.
we'll get out there. We'll do it one day, and that's okay. It'll get us back on campus. Late Thursday night. Next week is finals, and give us the opportunity to just have a little extra time to focus on that and be calm through that period of time.
It's not that hard to adjust the prep schedule for this meet, is it? I mean, they might want another day recovery time from the last one, but
Yeah,
nobody gets that all the
for
time.
me, I was really looking forward to kind of a big practice session today.
Mm-hmm.
Get a fair amount of quality working with certain groups that I train with. With Thursday just right around the corner, we'll probably scale back to half of that, maybe even a quarter of that. And I won't worry too much as long as it's quality work. We get to Lubbock and we get some quality work on Thursday. We'll come back and we'll mix in a Saturday practice probably.
And then finals next week, and then after that,
We're already at Southland Conference Championships.
man,
Mid-May, head down to Rice University.
that'll be a 2-day event. I take they're not going to try and cram that into one,
Well,
will they?
3 days.
3-day event, even
Yeah,
better.
so, yeah. They kind of split everything up, prelims between the Thursday, Friday, and then come back Saturday for all the finals.
So do the
So they're
Lions
spread out between that.
do the Lions have the horses to finish on the platform at
Yeah.
the conference meet?
Yeah, no, I think we absolutely do. We're aware as a staff that we're probably a little deeper in areas than we should be.
Mm-hmm.
And that means that we're probably not quite as deep as we need to be in certain areas.
Right.
But we feel confident going in there. We feel like we can compete with any team in the conference. And a lot of times at championship meets, it's really who just has the best day.
Right.
Really not much is written on paper. You saw that indoor. We came in as the favorite, didn't end up as the favorite, but I thought we still had a good meet. So someone had a better meet.
That's what'll happen sometimes. Hey, you had the opportunity while everybody was out traveling this weekend. You were home and helping organize and run the UIL regional track meet. These were 4A schools, right? Like it had been before.
4A Region 2.
How did all that go? And we talked a little bit about how it's a bit of a recruiting tool for Lions as well.
You get the front row seat to everything throughout the day. And even before the event starts, you get access to all the entries and hey, this kid looks like he can be good. And this girl has done some things. We might want to watch her. But our primary goal is to run the event off and have it go well and provide those students with a championship opportunity. But secondary to that, we're watching kids and we're kind of silently recruiting and just trying to line things up.
Any meet or regional records set at this one?
There was
Maybe a track record?
Yeah, let's see. I think there was long jump. I might defer to Avi out of the corner of my eye here.
That's fine.
3 or 4. I think we had women's long jump, a women's hurdle race or 2, men's hurdle race, and discus, shot put. I don't know, maybe more than that. There was a couple pole vault. There was one of the best pole vaulters in the nation, in the region. So there was a lot of great stuff. I don't know. Too much for me to remember.
Well, I tell you what, that's a good sign when there are too many to remember that. Okay, so y'all are heading out. Don't want to tear up. You have a somewhat sped up schedule, so we'll let you go after this. But man, it's good to hear how they're doing,
Appreciate it.
and we'll see you when you get back.
Yep.
Well, we'll see you when we get back and get them ready for the conference meet.
Yeah. You enjoy it. Good luck down there.
Thank you, sir. We'll go see
Bye.
if we can softball can lead the way. All right, folks, Georgie Pincock with us. We've got Brittany Miller and Tatum Wright coming up after this on Inside Lion Athletics. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Inside Lion Athletics. We've been talking softball. Now we get to talk to the softball coach. Here's Brittany Miller, and, they were the last regular season games, the last conference games, and nothing like a little drama, coach. But on Saturday, by virtue of the Lions' big win, run ruled our friends down at Houston Christian, y'all got into the tournament. It didn't matter what happened down in Natchitoches.
Yeah, no, the girls are excited. I mean, we had something to play for and we still had it in our hands to be able to control our destiny. And that's exactly what they did. They came out, they competed, they put up the runs. We got a great performance from Julia and our defense and, we went out there and did our job. So we're excited, get the opportunity to go and compete. Conference tournament's all about survival. So one pitch at a time and go see who can survive.
Coach, the girls play, or the women, excuse me, this isn't high school. They played, those were such nail biters on Friday in the twin bill. And you go into the last game knowing you need to win, but you've been trying to get this win for almost 5 weeks. How did you keep you and Coach Bustos and Coach Josh? How did y'all keep that team's mind right from Friday through into Saturday?
No, just the talk is consistent, right? We keep talking about the process, keep talking about getting better, taking care of ourselves. And, we could easily be frustrated where we were and, not getting the wins earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they keep getting better, they keep getting stronger. And that's all we can ask them to do is continue to fight, continue to grind, and just really figure out ways to be able to get better individually and collectively. And that's, I think, what we saw, accumulation of all of that on Saturday. And so hopefully we're peaking at the right time and getting into conference tournament at the right time and the right mindset moving forward.
Well, Julia Sanchez spun a beauty on Saturday. And you told me before part of her mindset was, hey, this could be the last one.
Oh
She
yeah.
doesn't know what that's like yet, coach, but you do.
Oh yes.
What'd you
Yeah.
tell her?
Just told her she had to keep her mind in the right spot, one pitch at a time, and don't worry about what's going to be at the end. Like, you just got to stay in the moment and locked in. And that's what she did. She stayed locked in the whole time. And that's all we can ask from her. And, Kate threw it really well the day before.
Right?
Bats just weren't where they needed to be. Same thing with Julia. And so if we get those performance from those two this week, I feel good about where we're at.
Do you always include Aaliyah Wilcox in the conversations with your pitchers? I mean, after all, she is their catcher.
Yeah, we continue to talk with her, without her. I mean, she's been a huge, tremendous part of the success with our pitchers, as we keep moving forward. And she had a lot to learn coming into it. So, she's building, she's growing, she's learning, and this will be a good experience for her with two senior pitchers, coming out, and then with Maddie and, Emma and Tori in the bullpen ready for us to go. So we're excited.
All right. Tatum Wright, by the way, if we haven't mentioned it yet, she was the hitter of the week for the Southland Conference, that 3-game set down in Houston, a couple of bombs, whole bunch of RBIs, plus 500 batting average for the 3 games. You just have to grin when you see her going. That Coach Bustos even bigger.
Oh yeah, no, she's doing a great job this year. She's been consistent. We got her at the top of the lineup for a reason, because you got to pitch to her unless you want to walk her the first inning. So, she's doing a great job. She's doing her extra work. She's bought into what we're trying to do, and it shows week in and week out. I think there's been several weeks that she could have probably gotten that same award. And she just keeps doing her job, which is amazing.
You had Charlie Anger moved over to shortstop for a couple of games. Talk about what led to that move, and it seemed to give her a spark.
Yeah, no, it's just keep trying to play with who is hot right now, who's going to be able to give us the best chance to score some runs. And, Charlie at short is flawless. So we just put her over there, see what we got, and, it works out.
She went deep into the hole on one play and then had a toss across the diamond. I mean, that arm of hers, she could play anywhere far away for you.
Oh, yeah, she can. And she has the right mindset moving around. So it doesn't matter where we put her, she's ready to go and she's locked in. So that makes it easier to be able to move her and kind of put her in different spots.
She's got plenty of pop in her bat as well, but had really been mired in a streak that she didn't like. However, she's coming out of that, hit the ball well, and drove in a couple.
Yeah, she's good. Talked to her yesterday, actually, and her mindset is where it needs to be, ready to go, locked in for this weekend. And she had a couple weeks where she struggled, but I think we're ready to go.
Okay, so you're ready to go, and you're ready to go against the regular season champs for, I think, the fourth time in a row is what I read. And it wasn't Southeastern. We thought once we saw Southeastern, we thought they were Giants. Didn't work out that way. McNeese took over, and while we didn't see the series during the regular season, Coach, a little bit about their team and what your squad's going up against.
They are all around, like they're going to be competitive. They have pitching, they can hit, and they can play defense. So at the end of the day, if we attack their hitters with our pitchers and they throw like they did this last weekend, I feel confident where we're at with our pitching and our defense behind them. And offensively, we're just going to come out and attack. I mean, it's nothing that we haven't seen all year. So if we come out, we're in attack mode, and we get our pitches and capitalize, then I like where we're at. But just like anything, softball is, everybody is pretty even when it comes down to game time. So we just got to come out there and have the right mindset.
All right, Coach, did you prohibit devices in the dugout that would let people keep up with scores elsewhere so you could focus on the game?
Yeah, we were locked in with our game. And so at the end of the day, like, it didn't matter. I told them when we got off the bus, we control our destiny. We go do our job, we're in. We don't go do our job, then, we put it in somebody else's hands. And, they bought into it. And so were there questions? Obviously, yes. But at the end of the day, we took care of business and that's all that mattered.
All right. Great stuff, Coach. Can't wait to get it started. The first game will be at 3:00. You'll be opening up the Lake Charles bracket against McNeese. UIW and Lamar, they'll have the Birds battling it out after us. And then we'll either play the winner of that game if we win, or we'll be in the other bracket if we don't, for play on Friday. 3 or 6 o'clock would be the possible start times for that day. So,
Correct.
Okay, Coach, what good luck do you need from Lion fans this weekend?
We don't need luck. We got to go out there and play our game.
That's all it takes. All right, sounds good. Line up, everybody. ET softball headed to the Southland Conference Championship Tournament for the first time. Won't be the last. Stick around. We're going to talk to one of those players. Tatum Wright is coming up after this. Hey, everybody, welcome back. A little more Inside Lion Athletics. We'll call it the playoff edition. This is Tatum Wright, and she is the Southland Conference Hitter of the Week because during that little 3-game set at Houston Christian this past weekend, 2 home runs, I think it was 6 or 9 RBIs, you can correct me, and most important of all, that dub on Saturday that launched y'all into the Southland tournament. Tatum Wright, welcome and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
That was quite a weekend down there, and it's not like there wasn't any drama. Y'all had to get a win.
Yeah, no, we had to win one game to guarantee a spot in playoffs. We did. And I am so thankful that overall that we got the win.
Y'all were so close in both games on Friday. And then, you have that disappointment. You get to come back, though, and you get another shot at them. What did the players, you're listening to the coaches, they're trying to keep it, but y'all talk to yourselves probably even more than coaches do.
Oh, absolutely. After those first two games, losing by just 1 and 2 runs, it's obviously defeating, but we didn't let that define us. We said Saturday's a brand new day. Like we have everything that we need to go out there and win and compete. And I think it was just a moment of realization that, like, yes, we can win. Yes, we can do well. And I think that energy, bringing that into Saturday, played a crucial role in our victory.
Boy, and you turned around and beat up a pitcher
Yeah,
that had not been beaten up the day before.
right.
How different was her, the caliber of her pitching on Saturday? Was it more that you learned so much from the game the day before about what her tendencies might be?
Absolutely. So, softball players, we have to make minor adjustments in order to be successful in the game. Her
Mhm.
pitching style did not change. We all just adjusted and we learned that what she was throwing, how to face her, what her counts will be. So, I think taking that knowledge and have previously faced her, we took that knowledge and now succeeded with it.
So did y'all like break her wristwatch? Is that why that had to go, the
Yeah,
old
no, we
school
completely like
version, or
destroyed it. No, I'm
what
kidding.
what did y'all talk about while you're waiting for, it's like, what's up? Why are we waiting? We should be playing.
Yeah, no, the watches are a good and a bad thing. Personally, I think they have more faults than good. They take a while. Not everybody's on the same page, but hey, I'm lucky to have them, so I guess I can't complain too much.
The technology needs a little bit of work.
Yeah, just
All
a
right.
little bit.
All right. Well, that'll come through. You don't have anybody stealing your signs then, unless they find a watch somewhere, right?
Yeah, I know. I hope not, huh?
Okay. So let's talk about hitting just a little bit. You have a legend in softball as your hitting coach.
I
What's it
do.
like working with Coach Bustos?
Oh, wow. So growing up, I have always envied her. Every single softball tournament, you would always hear Crystal Bustos is this iconic player, and she really was. And
Hmm.
now having the opportunity to have her as my coach and to learn from her is an experience I did not think that I was able to receive, but having it, I'm beyond grateful for it. She knows what she's talking about. She offers great advice. She knows the game. She loves the game, and overall, she wants people to succeed. So like having her as my coach is not something that I ever want to take for granted.
It's always a little tweak,
Hmm.
or a different timing or some kind of mechanism that releases your swing. What has she taught you? What kind of changes did you make to your approach?
Really moving up in the box or back in the box because my whole swing is based on timing and she
Hmm.
understands that. So also being patient with the ball. Like I feel like hitters get so eager to make things happen that like we get so ramped up and everything. She's just like, be patient, keep your hands up high, move up in the box, move back in the box, and that those adjustments have really helped me.
How often do you move back and forth in the box? Is it until you find a comfort zone and then it hangs
Yeah,
in there for a few
so
games?
right. So every at bat, if I was successful last time, obviously I'm not going to change it. I'll keep it. If it's broke, don't fix it, right? But until I find that comfort zone of, okay, like I feel confident that I can reach every single ball, then I'll stay there. But if not, I'll just keep moving up. I'll ask for her opinion. What am I missing? What am I hitting well? Stuff like that.
So after you hit that moonshot that may or may not have landed, nobody knows. But I mean, to go back out into the field with your glove on, that's always kind of fun to do when you've had an
Yeah.
impact on the other side as well.
Right. Yeah. So being able to back up my pitcher is, I'm very lucky to have that opportunity. Our pitching staff did extremely well this weekend. So
Mhm.
having that opportunity to support them and they ultimately supporting us likewise is awesome.
So when Julia or Kate or Maddie, wherever who's pitching, when they come in and they're having kind of a rough day, how does that dugout help lift them up?
Oh, absolutely. Nothing but support. Honestly, at the end of the day, we're all human. We're going to have a rough patch. We're going to have a rough series. But
Mhm.
being able to go back into the dugout and having teammates that support and love you no matter your performance ultimately is super important. So,
Do you have rules in the dugout about don't bother her during a
oh,
game, or if she's pitching well, nobody sits anywhere near her, or any of
kind of
that
like
stuff?
superstitions. Well, being on the team with 22 girls and ultimately being with them for a whole year, you kind of learn the girls that you're like, okay, like maybe she doesn't want to talk to you right now, or the girls
Mhm.
that's okay, like I appreciate it, like thank you for your support. So there's some people where I'm like, oh, just give her a second, and then she'll come back to us when she's ready.
And that dugout has really from what we talked about a few minutes ago, that's so key to the success you've had here in this process, because y'all
Absolutely.
never stop backing each other up out of that dugout.
We do not. And that is incredibly important.
Which one of your teammates are you happiest for that this team's going to the tournament?
I'm gonna have to say Julia Sanchez. She is one of my best friends, and being on this program with her since my freshman year and evolving into that D1 program, she has been nothing but kind, supportive, a phenomenal athlete who I think deserves the opportunity to go to this conference tournament and to succeed well. So I'm extremely proud that we were able to pull that win off for her.
And right off the bat, you get another crack at the top team in the league.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Bring it on, huh?
That every time.
Mhm.
Okay, last question, because we know y'all are going to be going here before too long. But so Tatum, just down the road from us, we kind of had fun with, they're the Tatum Eagles, but in Jefferson get referred to as the Taters. Well,
Oh,
you're hitting Tatum's Taters. You own that. So what do you think about a fan club next year? Maybe we can get a potato chip purveyor to help dress us
yeah.
up.
The NIL deals, I would love to have a sponsorship. How cool would that be, huh?
Tatum's Taters. We got to work
Tatum
on that.
taters.
We'll get Avi on it right away.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Tatum, it's been a pleasure to have you on here this week. Can't wait to see you all down in Lake Charles. Everybody will be down there Thursday, but it'll be game day on Friday, and we'll be there.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody, Lions up if I don't throw the laptop away. We have wrapped up another edition of this. Thanks to Avi Maida and George Pincock, Brittany Miller. It was a busy day. Oh, don't forget Jim Curry. We had a blast, and we usually do. Until next time, go Lions. And we'll
Go
see you here
Lions.
next week.